Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Bitcoin once again. Thank you for support. Okay, so big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, the question is Bitcoin gearing up for a massive run here? Okay, after coming down essentially on the monthly time frame, which I've said to you is the most important time frame. Okay, you can be thrown out by the daily, the weekly, invalidation points, bear traps, bull traps, whatever. The monthly, if you look at it, it does kind of give the game away to the trajectory, you know, and the path that sort of Bitcoin is on here. And this is why I always say to you, focus on the monthly. I've always said that to you since day dot. If in doubt, zoom out. Okay, and like I said to you, this is a key level support that I wanted to see hold for Bitcoin, and right now it is holding. Okay, and we're doing okay. We're sort of consolidating here, aren't we? You know, pretty much like we came down here, this support and consolidating and began to break out. Just here we came down, consolidating and began to break out, but we had the unforeseeable black swan just there, the C dump. Okay, where we've got that level of capitulation, and we started to pick up out of there because of how bullish Bitcoin is. You know, and you know what I think that might happen is a potential scenario right here is, you know, this indication here, this holding this support is an indication of actually how bullish Bitcoin is, because you can see in a bull market it always holds the support of the yellow line, which is a 20 EMA. Once you start to fall through that, that's really negative, really bearish. And I said to you so many times that I'm looking for confirmation of the bear market here. I'm not jumping to any conclusions of a bear market. Okay, we're not creating bear market structure here. This is corrective structure, and I've said that to you the whole time. Okay, as was this was corrective, impulsive, corrective. Okay, and you can see, look, just there we put in a high. If we use the wicks, you know, even the candle bodies, look, it's still higher high, and this here is still a higher low essentially. Okay, so I know a lot of people here calling for capitulation, some kind of huge continuation. Personally, you know, at the minute the charts are not telling me that, it doesn't mean it can't happen. Okay, and obviously if you do start to fall through support, then I've told you so many times the 55 EMA on the monthly time frame, you can't quite see it on this chart, but in a previous chart with more longevity and more data, you can see that the 55 was an excellent entry point in that correction just there, consolidation before picking up and breaking up to the I side. So right now, you know, is Bitcoin on the cusp of a huge run here? Okay, and one that will break this high, you know, and potentially break out and come up to that 100k and all our targets we've had for many moons right now. So it is a big if, isn't it? But whilst you're retaining holding support and structure, you know, on the most important time frame here, this is really valid. You know, this particular continuation here that we're looking at is valid until it's not. The only way to invalidate that is if you start to roll, you take out these lows, you start to come lower than this, you know, some relief rally, some dead cat bounce scenario like we did here in the previous bear market. You know, there's your parabolic mania blow off top, which we've not had. We've not had any sort of mania blow off top here other than this sort of euphoric run up in 2021. Okay, where we sort of topped out, came back and made a new high just there for Bitcoin. But you can see, you know, if you start to come up and then you start to roll over, you are creating a lower high, you start to come down, you lose these lows down here, then you've got your bear market structure like I've said to you so many times, and there's your bear market. Okay, not the hopium of some bear market because you've corrected down to key levels of support. Okay, so I know it's nasty, you know, but was this correction here a bear market? No, it was opportunity. Was this correction here a bear market? No, it was opportunity. Okay, so right now Bitcoin is technically bullish, and people find it hard to understand, and crypto for me is technically bullish. Now I'm going to back this up with this sentiment as well. Like I always show to you, I drop it into the charts, you know, the fear and greed index, which is really low. You've got the Cbbi as well, which I'll show you both of them things right now. Okay, so you've got the fear and greed index sitting at 28. You know, fear, it's been in extreme fear for over a month now. If we take a look at this, looking back to 1 year, you can see that pretty much what we're doing is pretty much like what we did in the last correction, where we got topped out, you know, we rolled over, we got this euphoric sort of mania phase last May, where we rolled over and we come down, we sort of consolidated down here in fear and extreme fear. Okay, and people are really fearful of a bear market just there, and like I said to you, it's corrective phase of a bull market. You started to come up and you put two impulsive breaks without getting really overextended or really greedy and making a high. So for me, this is corrective. Okay, it's corrective. It's a not bear market yet. I'm looking for that euphoric top and then your bear market structure rolling over. Okay, so for me, this is, at the minute, I've shown you so many times, this is potentially a big wave 4 flat correction. Basically, you've got a little bit overextended and you've come back and you're retesting the lows, but it's still a higher low. And right here, you're consolidating again as you did here in the summer, you know, before getting that breakout to the upside. So another thing that we're keeping an eye on as well, which I've shown you so many times, is the Cbbi indicator. So the Cbbi currently sits at 43. Now historically, in each and every bull run and each and every bear market, Each bull run, we top out at 100, which is amazing. Now, just because it's happened before, full transparency, it doesn't mean it has to happen again. But you can see how much leg room we've got here before we actually go up to 100 and we sort of get that mania, that blow off top phase. Now, for me, I do think that Bitcoin's come up impulsively, correctively, impulsively, and this is still corrective, okay? Just like here, you know, you come up impulsively, correctively, but this cycle was different. If you look at the first cycle here, okay, this was shorter from the bare bottom low to the top was shorter, and then this one was longer than a previous cycle. And right now, this is actually proving itself to be longer than the previous cycle based off this analysis, the CBBI, because we never got to 100 here, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that we have to, you know, like I said to you, if you start to roll over here and you come all the way down to 0, a golden opportunity in the bottom of the bear if this is a bear market, but I'm not seeing any confirmation of the bear market just yet. It's still corrective, okay? You're still coming down to key support. You're holding key support, which is really, really important. It's what you do after this. You relief rally to the highs. Do you break it? Then you're not got your bear market, have you? You've got your corrective phase of a bull market confirmed, and you're going on to new highs. But if you start to retrace it and you come lower than this high, you know, and then you start to come down and lose the lows, the foundational support that you're creating right now, which I do think you're creating this foundational support for Bitcoin. There is a potential it can go lower, but who knows? No one's got a crystal ball. But the sort of sellers are becoming exhausted. And like I've said to you so many times, you know, greed on the way up and greed on the way down. It works both ways. The market psychology works both ways. So pay attention, okay? It can't keep going in one direction for too long unless you start to go euphoric and mania and blow off top phase, which is what we've not had here. And this CBBI is indicating that, okay? So I know I sound like some kind of permeable or whatever, but I'm not. All I'm doing is relaying data and the charts to you, okay? Bearish or bullish, I'm just showing you structure and what the charts are telling me, and I hope you can interpret that as well. So, you know, looking at CBBI, which is a fantastic indicator, it's called 2 cycle tops and 2 cycle bottoms on the nose, okay? It's telling me that the top's not in, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say to you, okay? And we've got some kind of midway correction that we've gone through in this bull market for Bitcoin, okay? And right now, Bitcoin on chain is looking extremely bullish. Now, there's a couple of things I want to show you today, you know, that I've posted on Twitter. And I'm just going to show you this segment from this video right now of this guy called Tom Lee that is saying that this is the perfect opportunity right now for a violent rally and a reaction after what is not a bear market. Because a lot of people in the stonks, like I said to you, if you take a look at the stonks, you know, I think the Nasdaq has corrected over 20% every 2 years, you know, for the past 6 years, I think it is. It's every 2 years it's corrected over 20%, but it didn't indicate a bear market. It actually rebounded and went on to put new highs. And they're the opportunities that people, they don't buy, they buy, you know, they're not buying into fear, they become fearful and sell fear. And this is what I've always said to you. So just watch this segment of this video, okay, and see what you think.
Our next guest predicts treacherous market activity will pave the way for a violent rally in February. Tom Lee runs Fundstrat Global Advisors, is the CNBC contributor. Tom, always good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, Melissa.
So January was rough. You thought January would be rough, but you didn't think it would be this rough. Is the flip side to that you think this violent rally in February will be even stronger?
Yeah, the setup looks like the V for February is not Valentine's, but violent rally. And I think there's a couple reasons for that. One is that we know retail sentiment got so negative that it was the worst since 2013. But the last 6 times it was this negative, 6 out of 6 times the market was higher 3 months later. So I think we're in a easy sort of risk reward for the month of February. The second is retail cash. We're going to talk about this with our clients tonight, but if you look at retail money market cash from ICI, retail investors basically assumed a bear market was starting. So they've raised so much cash in the last couple of months that we're essentially resetting a risk-on rally. And the third is, I mean, this is anecdotal, but I've been at a couple conferences over the past week. I didn't find anybody bullish. So I think when institutional investors are cautious, retail basically priced in a bear market and their sentiment's the worst in 8 years, you could have a huge rally. And as we've written before, recoveries from a fast sell-offs actually typically are symmetric, meaning you should expect a violent rally.
Yeah, so that's basically a little video there from Tom Lee, and he's saying that, you know, we could expect a violent rally, which would make sense. And, you know, people become fearful at the bottom, and they you know, the bears, the perma bears expect continuation, and that's that euphoria for bears and that greed and continuation of the trend, basically. But all trends come to an end. You know, you begin to retrace, and it's at the point of which you retrace, which is the most important part. And I've said that to you since we began to roll over. I said to you, we need confirmation of the bear market before before we call it a bear market. So moving forward, we're looking for the confirmation. We're looking for the structural bear market confirmation, which we've not got yet. Okay, so we could be in for some kind of violent rally, which, you know, given the historical data, it could actually see us break the high and go parabolic here for Bitcoin. Now, I'm not filling you with hopium. I'm just relaying something that I'm telling you, seeing. Okay, so there's another guy, Willy Woo, who I follow on Twitter, and I did relay this on Twitter this morning. If we take a look here, you know, he said in this article, on-chain analysis, Willy Woo makes an argument of why Bitcoin is not in a bear market. Basically, what I've been trying to say to you. If anything, he says it's an opportunity to buy. You don't often get this kind of pullback without a relief bouncing, even. You don't sort of slide and then capitulate, basically. So it does look, like I've said to you, it looks corrective at the moment, okay? And coming down to key support, if we can hold that support and start to come back up and retrace at a high and put in some kind of another little retracement like an ABC, like I've shown you so many times, and then you come up in another impulsive move, you could be taking out that high, you know, that a lot of people are calling the bull market top for Bitcoin. And with that, all this opportunity of being in the floor in these crypto projects, you know, like XRP, Link, Ethereum, Bitcoin roll into a bear market at this point, it's nothing but opportunity. So again, you know, nothing I say is financial advice, everything is for educational and entertainment purposes only, but that's just my outlook, you know, that I'm seeing. And I've always said to you, buy fear, buy blood. You know, it doesn't feel like opportunity, and it won't feel like opportunity in a bear market, and it never feels like opportunity in a pullback either, you know, because people expect continuation. So yeah, let's take a look at the charts of Bitcoin, yeah? So looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame, then you can see we're holding this ascending triangle of support at the moment. Look at this key level support, and like I said to you, you've got this beautiful bullish cross on the 4-hourly time frame that you're falling back into a support. So right here is really important. Over the next few days, if Bitcoin can hold this support, potentially this is where you could start to break out for Bitcoin, okay? And you start to come up to these technical targets of this ascending triangle, which is around about $40,745. Now it's at this point here when Bitcoin does break out, and it is a big if as well, you know, there's no certainty. It's like I've taught you so many times, it's all a game of support and resistance, you know. And right now, if Bitcoin was to lose this support, I would imagine you're going to start losing this low here. You lose that low, you're coming down and you're retesting that low. It's really important that this low holds though, okay? So if you start to retrace deeper to this low, because this is what it looks like it's doing right now, just like this was a retracement just here, like I said to you, on the golden ratio, and it began to break out just now. Bitcoin is actually retracing to this low. I would imagine you're sitting on the 382 to this low at the moment. Let's take a look. So yeah, you're sitting on the 382 at the moment, you know, almost had a wick down to the 050 37951. And like I said to you, you know, this here, this retraced at the golden ratio, then broke out, and right now potentially if it starts to come down, okay, this could be a beautiful little entry point on the 0618 at 37640, and that could be a lovely little golden entry point coming back into the apex of this ascending triangle. Little liquidity grab, and then get the breakout to the upside, breaking out that key level resistance just there and meeting a technical target of an ascending triangle, okay? Failing that, if you do start to come down and you start to take out them lows, you can see that you're effectively rolling here and you're coming down for a deeper retracement. Losing that low just there would put you in a 1618 target to 35,105, and that could actually be the beautiful big W bottom pan like that, and a larger ascending triangle. People think we're rolling into the bear at just here, okay? And this is really, really bullish. This could be a golden little entry point if you do start to sweep them lows, okay? So do target that for Bitcoin. But right now, Bitcoin does look bullish. You're coming up and you're coiling up essentially like this. You're really, really coiling up. Some kind of break, some kind of give is going to give here for Bitcoin. I know it's been sideways chop for the past few days, but there is some kind of, you know, volatility that's going to come into play here as you get squeezed, support and resistance, and you will get some kind of break, whether that to the upside or to the downside. I wish I could tell you, look, 100% you're going to go up, you know, I wish I could say that, but it's a game of probabilities right now, okay? So yeah, that's basically Bitcoin. But if it did start to break, I would imagine you can come up to that technical target and you're going to come up and you can break that resistance just there, break that resistance just there, and you will be looking at that, which takes you out of these key levels of resistance, meeting this technical target of an ascending triangle. And with that, you're starting to hold support and come back up the stairs, and you're breaking bullish here for Bitcoin in the month of February, and you're putting in that violent retracement that Tom Lee's talking about, okay? So at that point, you know, you would be retracing to this high. So with that, I'm going to drop some levels in eventually, but not today because this video's got really, really long. But if we was to start breaking here, holding back to some support, it could offer an amazing long opportunity on Bybit. The link is in each and every single video description, okay? Take advantage of the bonus, because you could ride it all the way up to retracement, wherever it is. At that point, just here, what does Bitcoin do? That's the most important part of this bull run, okay? Does it retrace ABC like this correction here in September and then continue taking out that high? And this wasn't a bear market, it was a corrective phase of a bull market looking for support for continuation, okay? And that's where you get that violent sort of rally over the next 2 to 3 months. So yeah, that's basically Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Bye bye.